And now, introducing tonight's main attraction. It's the Never Beens podcast.
Are we on?
We are back. We are back.
There
you go.
You didn't do that last time.
Yeah, no. I wasn't in the same room. I was out in the living room.
You weren't in the right frame of mind?
No, I didn't feel right. Well,
I don't know how I feel about that.
1 week in the books.
I need you to lock it in.
What?
I need you to lock it in.
All right,
but also,
locked in.
Welcome the people back.
Welcome back to the Never Beens. We have such a great script for this one because we weren't scripted last time. So let's jump into.
Do you think anyone could tell?
The bullshit round.
Bullshit.
Not to quote Ace Boog.
Ooh, we should get a voiceover of that.
Bullshit?
Yeah.
We probably could do that. We'll get
what do you
your
want to talk about this week.
Top of mind. You know, I always want to talk golf.
When you pronounce golf, do you pronounce it without the L?
Golf? Like Jared Goff?
Yeah.
Golf? Do I say it weird?
I don't know. I'm just curious. How does it sound to you?
Golf.
Yeah.
I guess it sounds pretty similar.
Anyway, what do you want to talk about? Golf. Amateur golf.
This chair is so squeaky. Running topic of convo between me and Glanch is his bullshit. It's perfect for this segment. Handicap. I brought it up so many times before.
Why?
All right, let's start from the beginning. What is your handicap right now?
9.0.
Is it really?
I think so.
I was joking and rounding up. You're actually a 9.0.
Let's consult the Gin. Gin or Gin? It's got to be Gin, right?
Gin.
No way.
I say Gin.
9.0.
Like Ted Ginn. Just absolutely embarrassing. What's your average score?
87.7. I'm pathetic. I'm not a good golfer.
All right. So what did you tell the listeners what you did yesterday?
I'm the Shamble King.
Well, what did you play in? What was it?
I played in a one-day member guest, otherwise known as.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing.
We don't have time for this.
No. A one-day member guest is a guest day.
Sure. It was referred to as both during various points of the communication. Anyway.
Yeah. We need to just put up a bunch of polls. Let the people vote.
Me and my partner, Mr. Buddy Ozan, dominated.
So what's his handicap?
17 or an 18.
And you said he played up a tee? Or you both played up a tee?
Only he did.
So what tee did you play? Like just men's regular?
It was two up from their tips, basically.
Yours or his?
Mine, and then his was another one up. That's where they had him set up. What would you like for me to do?
What was the distance?
62-ish,
was that like
63?
Okay, so it was like white.
So does that make you feel better about my score? Anyway,
No.
Point being, for everyone who's unclear, is I'm a terrible driver of the golf ball, and when I don't have to drive the ball because I was playing in a shamble, we were able to.
What's a shamble?
Both players hit a drive, pick the best one, play 2 shots from there, and then play your own ball in.
Wait. Your second shot, you picked the best one?
No, you pick the best first one. You both play from that best drive, and then play your own ball in from that drive, from that point.
Yeah, you pick best drive, and then you play your own ball all the way into cup.
Correct.
And then you take the best score of the two.
Lowest net score. Correct.
Net
being the
key term there.
Yeah. And whenever I don't have to deal with my own drive, I'm kind of a player.
So what did you shoot?
57.
Par what?
71.
All right, so 14 under par on 18 holes.
Yeah, I made a birdie.
In a two-man team.
I made a birdie by myself on a hole I was getting a pop on. That's
should never happen.
Why should that never happen?
You should never birdie a hole where you got an eagle. You got an eagle.
But it wasn't using my own drive, so it wasn't by myself. It was by myself after that.
Okay. So here's another. Why are you getting a stroke on that hole then?
I didn't make the handicap system.
You cheated.
No, I didn't. That's so much. That's bullshit.
All right, we don't have to talk about this, but I bet anyone that's played in a charity golf event, everyone calls it Captain's Choice or Scramble.
Most people who are listening to this have played with me, and they know that I'm not a player.
And some people shoot a worse score than that with 4 people in a scramble.
That's not. Yeah, but in a scramble, you're not getting pops.
Yeah, but the whole point of pops is to net your score. Correct?
Yeah, but
so your score net was better than people's 4-man scramble.
Had I been playing with my own ball, I probably wouldn't have shot that well, even with net. And I don't know. I mean, that's as simple as I can put it.
But the whole point is your net, you're getting too many strokes.
Everybody else was getting too many strokes then too.
But did you win?
Yeah, I won.
What'd you win? What did you steal from everyone else playing in the guest day? Nice bottle of bourbon.
Hopefully we can get this one up onto YouTube so that people can actually see it. Still Austin, bottled in bond, high rye bourbon whiskey. Looks
nice.
Pretty good to me.
And you stole money.
Some shop cred. Can't wait to go back and spend it. Probably going to buy myself a hoodie.
Do you feel any kind of remorse?
Can we move on to football? I do not feel any kind of remorse.
Okay. This is going to be a running combo for the rest of the time.
Please.
Recurring segment. All right. Move on. Bullshit round is done. Your segment, sorry.
What do you want to talk about? Last week? Quick little recap?
Yeah, recap us. What happened in week 1? Or you want to college or pro or what?
Can we fast this 3 minutes it? Well, college real fast. Texas dominated Michigan.
Yeah.
Even more points than I thought they would. So I was kind of right, but also kind of not. I mean, that game wasn't even close. Oklahoma State had a world-class bad beat. Terrible.
World-class good beat. Good win?
No.
For me.
No, sure. Yeah, but no.
-7.5. I was texting you during the game.
39-31. I
was like, they're going to cover this in double overtime. Anyway.
That's
SMU.
not all I got on college football. SMU lost. Check
Trash.
out my other podcast, the QB Chronicles, if you want to talk about them.
Shout out. Wofford 2-0. Big 17-point dog win on the road at Richmond. We're so back.
Wait,
we're back.
They won? They were 17-point dogs and they won?
17.5-point dogs. Dub.
Good for them.
The disrespect.
Like Travis is 2-0, since we're talking about last week.
I'm trying to remember.
48-45 scored with 36 seconds left.
But back to college, the SEC ACC game was in Charlotte, and Tennessee beat the brakes off the Wolfpack.
That was not a good look for the Wolfpack.
But that quarterback for Tennessee looked good.
Can we talk about the fact that the Pac-12 has dissolved, basically, for all intents and purposes, and is just dominating? Like all the schools from the Pac-12 last year, like a combined,
are like good
23-2 or something like that.
Is that true? I didn't know that.
Yeah, something like that. I saw a map the other day.
Oh yeah, Cal won at Auburn.
Yeah, not good for Auburn.
It's never been since Cam left.
Okay, real fast.
What?
NFL.
What's real fast? Okay.
Spark Notes version. Fastest 3 minutes. Ooh,
another Cam. You lead.
First thought. Big issues. Falcons' performance. Everyone was picking them to dominate the NFC South, and they looked bad. Offensive line looked bad. Kirk did not look decisive or comfortable in the pocket the whole day, and in very typical Pittsburgh Steelers fashion, they won the game by kicking 6 field goals.
Okay. You were right. Yeah, stay in the NFC South, Tampa Bay.
In the NFC South.
Your boys.
I will stay in the NFC South for 3 points then, because I thought the Panthers were absolutely awful.
That was going to be what I talked about. They're embarrassing.
0-1 on my picks. Go on the Panthers.
It was just across the board embarrassing. Kicked off, immediate touchdown on a blown coverage.
Rashid Shaheed.
Yeah, just a backside post in the middle safety cut the crosser and Horn was left on an island. First play down 7-0. Bryce pick first play. So not a way to start the new season. And then as soon as you do that, the game's over at New Orleans. So they were playing from but the defense, I think, allowed points on the first 7 drives for New Orleans.
I'm not a math major, but that's not good.
No, it's not. but offense was equally as bad. So,
yeah, agreed. Staying in the NFC South for one more shout out, friend of the program, Baker Mayfield and the Bucks. Outstanding. They looked great.
Good pick by you. I thought they would take a step back. They look good.
Let's keep the train rolling.
Okay. What else you got?
Okay. What do we think about the Packers? What are they going to do without Jordan Love?
Who's playing QB?
That
Malik? Is it Malik Willis?
Oh, it is Malik Willis. You are correct. Although I did see yesterday that LaFleur did not. He said the door is open for Jordan Love to play this week, which I find to be silly this early in the season.
What was the official injury report? Sprained MCL?
Jordan Love, week 2 status. Google might know. Status in danger. He's out. No chance he's still playing. But Malik Willis, I don't know. If it's going to be 4 to 5 weeks, I feel like you should go get a backup. What's Ryan Tannehill up to?
What's Garrett Gilbert up to?
I'm busy.
Golf dad.
Yeah.
Podcast host.
And grinding out this insurance game.
Love that. Shout out one of our
presenting sponsors.
Presenting sponsor of the Neverbins, BDSD Insurance.
Almost had it.
I'll get it one day.
BSBD, you dummy. Okay, next. BSBD. You'll get it right.
One point I wanted to make that impressed, even though the Giants stink, Darnold looked really good in the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
I was proud of.
Right. You stole that from me.
Sammy. That was one of yours.
I said that at some point. I don't know. Anyway, Antonio Pierce, Raiders, not great.
No. No one expected them to be great, though.
I know, but you go into the season, and again, nothing against Gardner Minshew. He's made a heck of a career out of stepping in, but how do you get excited about that guy being your week 1 starter? If you're the Raiders, and then they just went out there and laid an egg basically the whole day. They got good receivers. They got Devontae. They got Jacoby. Love Jacoby.
NC State, shout out.
Yeah, played together in New England. He is a great player. Oh, yes. Moving along. But Antonio Pierce, not sure about some of the decision making there.
Was he on the staff when you were there briefly?
Yes.
Where did he come from? He was assistant coach.
Yeah, he was. Kevin O'Connell, Sam Darnold combo looked great. Kevin O'Connell,
do you like him?
Standing coach. Think he does a great job. Kind of comes from that same famous tree, the McVay, O'Connell, yep. Mike McDaniel. They were all sitting.
Shanahan.
They were all sitting in the same room, working 125 hours a week in Washington.
Forgot O'Connell was part of that.
My last little point on the recap of the week is: are the Bengals? What are they doing?
I've always been a Burrow hater, so it's good. Not good to see, but it gives me some sort of justification.
Something we can agree on. I don't understand. They just look so bad to start every single season, and then they get hot late. But obviously last year Burrow got hurt and they couldn't, or they didn't. But it's like one of these times you're going to put yourself too far behind 8 ball.
Yep. And then my lock of last week was, and it always has been, this is not gambling advice, but home divisional dogs. Colts ended up losing, but they did backdoor cover. So I don't know how to take that. AR looked good, but what?
He looked good, but sloppy, which I think is what you're going to get for a while from him.
Yeah.
He is an absolute freak of an athlete.
Good, maybe not the right term. Flashy.
Yeah, absolutely flashy.
Is probably the right term. So interesting. The Colts were kind of my dark horse team to watch, but 0-1. But Houston's supposed to be pretty good this year, right? They're the favorite in that division.
Should we talk about our survivor pool now as we start moving into next week and how we can just, say that we called it even though we didn't mention it?
Yeah. So we're in a
squawks.
I'm in a survivor pool where you pick a team every week and then you can't use them again, right? Standard. We used Seattle week 1. I brought Glanch on to be my co-owner. We went with Seattle and they squeaked one by Denver at home.
Still alive.
We're still alive, and we're gonna moving forward announce our pick on the pod and lock it in. So we haven't picked yet.
Foreshadowing.
All right. Anything else? I know you picked Rams and Jets. They both lost on the road. So,
yeah, my picks were terrible.
Ooh, before we move on, you won't like it, but Dallas looked really good. Unfortunately,
did Dallas
or did Cleveland look really bad?
Dallas did look really good, but the Browns looked horrendous.
I can't remember his name, but the old Vikings coach is now the DC in Dallas.
Mike Zimmer.
I think that was a good hire by them.
I mean, they're replacing Dan Quinn, who was, by all intents and purposes, the best defensive coordinator in the NFL the past few years.
Yeah.
So I am curious to see what it looks like when they play a team who doesn't look horrible, the whole way. That'll be interesting to watch.
Well, they host the Saints dominant this week, who Panthers made them look like the best offense of all time. So,
which tells us what about the Saints?
Nothing.
We know nothing yet.
Literally nothing.
Yeah.
But Derek Carr looked like a Hall of Famer. All right.
Might say all you need to know. All right, let's move along. There are next to no college football games that are worth anything this week. As coordinator of our college football pool,
I think the biggest game, and I'm going to go watch it with friend of the program, Lucas, Boston College at Mizzou, is probably the best game.
I literally think that might be the only two games within.
It's a 2-touchdown favorite for Missouri.
Yeah, it's a total dud of a week, unfortunately. I had a hard time finding enough games to put on our pick'em sheet. Since we're talking about it, let's look at a little standings update. Oh my God, where is everything?
I am so bad. I might be worse than you, or am I slightly better? We're both really bad.
Season standings. I am 12-20 on the year. Not good. Almost in last place.
I'm laughing as I'm like 13-19 probably.
Not as bad as friend of the program Baker Mayfield, who forgot to pick last week. So I'm doing better than him.
His win percentage might be higher.
Way higher. Yes, it is. And you're 13-19, so you're killing me by one game. What a start.
I just want to beat you.
Only way to go is up.
Okay. Who's Wofford got? We got our first home game.
Ponies are going to win. Ponies are going to win their bye week this week.
Ooh, we got William and Mary.
Ponies are going to win their bye week for sure.
Mike Tomlin, McDermott.
Had no clue.
William and Mary. Shout out. All right. You want to move to pro NFL?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
We've got Bills Dolphins happened last night. Bills just dominated them. I happen to be playing James Cook in all of my fantasy leagues.
Oof.
Yeah.
Big oof.
Yeah. And then Tua got hurt and the Dolphins took out all their players. And I have Tyreek on two of my fantasy teams and he also did nothing. So,
question for you in terms of fantasy. I'm not I didn't do any draft. Olivia's family usually does one, but we didn't do it this year for some reason. But I joined my buddy. He needed help. I'm a co-manager. Just signed.
Assistant to the manager.
Exactly. Immediately went in, benched Joe Burrow. Yeah, that was his starter. I just started cutting people and benching people. Herbert is now starting. You like that?
Yeah. I am rostering Justin Herbert on one of my teams.
They're playing Carolina. They're playing Carolina this week.
Oh, then I love it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, play him. I'm interested to see what Justin looks like. Last year, he definitely had a down year. The year before that, he looked like the few years before that, he looked like a world beater. And then last year, it was somewhat interesting to watch him last year, miss easy throws, and he just looked off last year. And sometimes that could be as simple as not being a fit. New offensive coordinator last year with Kellen Moore. Sometimes things just don't fit. So I'm very interested to watch what Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert do this year.
So here's a wild fact.
Let's hear it.
Bryce technically had more yards last week than Herbert. Herbert only threw for 144 in that game.
Technically had more yards or actually had more yards?
Actually. Is that – I was going to ask. I was just pulling it up. Is Harbaugh's football tendency of running the ball, and is that going to hurt from a fantasy perspective? Is it going to hurt Herbert? Is he just going to have?
But I mean, this is pro football. Like you're going to have to. It's not going to be like Michigan where they can just recruit better players and go bully people anymore. Yeah. So, it's a good thing to watch. But I mean, they're going to have to throw the football. I think.
Okay. God dang, Dobbins. He had a good game.
Yeah, he sure did.
All right. That was just a random fantasy comment.
Okay.
Panthers.
We won't get into every game here.
Home game, hosting the Chargers. We just talked about it. 5-point dogs. They're going to get beat, I think. There's no way I can justify picking them.
The Panthers?
Yeah.
Does that give us a possible survivor pick?
I don't like taking road teams.
I know, but okay. But
we can eye them. But there was a stat, and it may have been against the spread, but teams losing by 30 plus basically bounce back. The win or cover percentage was like 85% going back to something.
That's interesting. Good to know.
So technically the pick should be Carolina, but I cannot endorse that.
But we don't survive if they cover. We only survive if they win.
I know. I was just throwing a fun fact out to the listeners. Okay. What else you got?
Let's see. We got Raiders, Ravens. We talked about the Raiders earlier.
That's got to be our pick, right?
Well, it should be, but the Ravens are a really good team that I feel like we could maybe save.
Versus who, though?
Well,
our division.
Browns, Jaguars. Probably not going to touch it, although I feel like the Jags are going to be, again, this is like until we see Deshaun Watson play quarterback again, I have a hard time believing Cleveland can do anything. Their defense looked to take a step back. Obviously, they were put behind the 8 ball a lot last week, but they were really, really good last year, of course, forcing turnovers and all that. And Dallas just kind of had their way with them. And I know there was a lot more to do with that, but last week Dallas kind of had their way with them.
Yep.
Moving along, Jets, Titans, think we stay away from that one, but I do think that is probably a must-win game for the Aaron Rodgers-led Jets. They looked super sloppy last week. Of course, it's tough to start with 2 games on the road, but
short week too. They played Monday night.
You got to find a way to win that game. That this is otherwise. I already heard. Of course, this is kind of just everyone's got to talk about something, but I heard talk about Robert Saleh being on the hot seat already. So.
Didn't I put Jets like 2 in my power rankings last week?
Yeah, I think you probably did.
Did have Niners 1 though. Regardless.
Good call.
Thanks.
The Chiefs are number 1, but whatever. Niners, Vikings. We'll be very interested to see McConnell versus Shanahan and what that looks like. To one who gets a ton of credit for being one of the better coaches in the NFL, and McConnell doesn't get so much. I think the 49ers have a healthy advantage in this game. But I am, I'm interested to watch the Christian McCaffrey saga. What's going on there? Saga?
Is that in Charlotte? Gugu and Gaga, or is that on your side?
Saga or Saga?
Saga.
What is the pronunciation?
Saga.
Are you sure?
The Saga. Yeah, I think. Guess the spread of that game.
Oh, we used to do that last year. I forgot about that. It's Niners -5 because I just saw it, but I'll stop.
Would you have guessed that?
I would have guessed Niners minus a touchdown.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. A game I like. Fading who we picked last week. Seahawks got to go to New England.
I also saw the spread of this one, but after that, I would like to guess the rest of the spreads just to pick up where we left off last year. The Seahawks are favored by 3, and
they shouldn't be. I don't think.
Well, I think
they didn't impress me. They barely snuck by the Broncos.
Yeah,
at home.
It's going to be interesting to watch them this year too. The Patriots, that is, because new coach. Obviously, this is all. Goes without saying, but watching them in the post-Belichick area, I think their defense was impressive last week, though they had a couple like deep red zone turnovers and stops that could have swayed the game the other way. One of the Bengals tight ends was reaching over the pylon, and I think it was Jabril Peppers maybe came in and punched it out as he was trying to reach over. Patriots are going to be in a lot of close, low-scoring games this year if they want to find a way to be around 500. And
Did you see the total?
They might have a chance to do that. No, I did not see the total. I'm going to guess it's 34.
Wow, 38.5. 34 is low.
I know. That'd be really low. Well, yeah.
We should take the under. This is not gambling advice.
No, certainly not. Do we need to put a disclaimer at the end? Or do my picks in college speak for themselves?
Yeah, maybe you should listen to this and fade everything we say.
Fade the never beens. That could be a successful strategy.
It clearly would be. Our picks combined in college football, fade.
It comes from college, at least when it comes to college. All right, on to the next.
I want to look at back to college picks. I want to look at what we picked. Are we picking the same thing and having the same terrible record, or we need to work? We need to work together, and maybe we'd be a little better.
Let's report back next week.
You got some divisional games. Washington hosts the Giants. That is, who knows.
Washington hosts the Giants. I got Washington -2.5.
-1.5. So yeah.
Okay.
Arizona. Yeah, I got nothing for that game.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Although Jaden Daniels could be a solid fantasy option the rest of the year.
Really?
I mean, I think he had a decent amount of points last week.
Quarterbacks.
Which drives me crazy.
Quarterbacks. Everyone has a good quarterback because there's only really like 12 of the 32 starters playing, right?
Everyone has a good fantasy quarterback. That doesn't make them a good real quarterback.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, go on.
Cardinals hosting the Rams.
I like this one.
I do too.
Cardinals.
I like Cardinals. Sneaky.
Almost should have won that game last week against Buffalo.
Yeah, they were winning the whole game until the second half blew it.
The Cardinals are going to be 1.5 point dogs. 1.5.
They are 1 point favorites, which because they're home is technically what you just said.
Yeah. Okay. And I think the only reason that's the case is because the Rams' injury issues. Their whole entire offensive line got hurt last week.
Oof. Maybe we eye Arizona as our pick.
I will not be betting against Mr. Stafford and Mr. McVay and Mr. Cup. He's back in fantasy for me.
I think Arizona will win that game.
Okay.
But we're not taking it.
But it's not the lock of the week.
Nope. Kansas City hosts the Bengals.
Kansas City is favored by 5.5.
6. They'll probably win by a touchdown, if not more. Pitt goes to Denver.
Is T. Higgins playing? Do we know yet?
Not sure.
Let me be interested to see that because, saw some funny ghetto Gronk memes. Shout out my favorite Instagram page. So good. About what Joe Burrow looks like without 3 elite receivers and with only 1 playing, of course.
It's what?
Tyler Boyd left and T. Higgins was hurt.
Yeah, I don't think T's projected to play.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then Chiefs by 1 million. On to the next.
Denver's hosting Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh's favored by 1.5.
2.5.
I'm so close. Is this good? Yeah. Is this good guessing by me?
You're always good at guessing the spreads, but then
I'm never good at picking.
Yeah, you're terrible at it. You should just be a line setter. I got nothing for that game. I would assume Pittsburgh wins because they won on the road at Atlanta, but
is it time to give up on the Sean Payton experiment in Denver? I mean, everyone was, so high on Bo Nix and his preseason performance. And of course, this is premature. I know it's 1 week, but they looked awful on offense. They looked horrible.
Yeah, I think it's
Sean Payton.
I'm biased. I do not like Sean Payton from his stint in New Orleans, but hasn't been very successful.
No,
what is it? 1 year and 1 game? He was only there 1 year last, or is this year 3?
I think just 1 year, but yeah, I think just 1. Yeah, it's just 1.
Okay. Who knows? I got nothing for that game. Interested to hear your take on this game. Houston hosts the Bears. I want to hear what you think about Caleb.
I think that was a very, very ugly performance. I'm trying. I know I'm being a little judgmental here. It's been 1 game for these rookie quarterbacks. I need to pump the brakes. But
no. Hot takes.
All right, sure.
Only.
I think Houston's probably favored by 5.5 by now.
6.5.
Ooh! Shout out my boy Walk, Mr. Gambler.
Who
was Ryan Walker? He's in our pick 'em pool. I just don't think you met him, but he was on Sunday night. He was like, jump on Houston -3.5 before it moves to 6.5. And
here we are.
Here we are.
Give me the Bears plus 6.5
in Houston.
Yeah,
I don't think so. Bears couldn't even score a point last week, and they only won the game because Will Levis decided to.
Yeah, what? Why?
Do God knows what in the whole second half. I don't know. That was very strange.
I was just referencing the one play where he was almost sacked and he threw it sidearm for a pick six.
And then when
like, what do you just take the sack? Punt. I love punting. Just punt.
What is this one called? Surrender. You seen that?
No. Is it a meme?
Yeah. College football.
Is that the Sunday night game? Ooh, that's the Sunday night game.
Surrender Cobra is the meme.
Gotcha.
I think it was born of the Michigan fan when Michigan State blocked the punt and ran it back for a touchdown.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And Sean McDonough's voice cracked 15 times.
All right. We don't have to talk about it, but Atlanta's going to go to Philly and lose probably.
Yeah, unless they figured out the offensive line. I'm still excited about what Atlanta can do with Kirk, but that was
yikes.
Good.
All right. What are we picking? Who do you like? Give me your top two. And then
okay. I think you go.
Or give me the safe play and then a bold play.
Baltimore is the safe play, and Jacksonville is the bold play.
Where's Jacksonville? Hosting Cleveland?
Yeah.
Golly. I don't know if I can do that.
Okay.
I love the Jags, though. Remember last year?
I think the Jets are another bold play. I think the Niners are a safe play. I think the Chargers are a somewhat bold play on the road.
All right. Baltimore's my safe play, but I think everyone's going to do that. Unless they're trying to save them.
Dallas is a safe play at home. I think.
I like Indy.
Oh, we skipped Bucks Lions. The number surprises me there. Detroit -7.5.
Yep. That was the only game we skipped. I'm not picking Detroit in that. I would like to save them, and they might lose that. Go Baker.
I think.
I say New England and Indy. I don't necessarily like Indy going to Lambeau, but it's early in the year, and if they're not, they don't have a quarterback.
I think the Chiefs are a safe pick, and I think the Texans are. I think the Texans are, and the Eagles are maybe our two safest picks if we're not going to go with Baltimore.
But bold. We need to go bold.
Oh, I'm sorry, not safe. Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
I don't like picking. I already said this. I don't like picking road teams, so Indy's out. So we're going New England, Jacksonville, Baltimore, or
lock of the week is. Why do we have to go bold? We didn't go bold last week. We picked the Seahawks. Texans. Why don't we go Texans?
Because I don't want
to
pick them, but I don't want to waste them. They're in a bad division.
Come back next week to find out who we pick, and we'll tell you we were right no matter what.
No, we got to lock it in right now.
I told you who I wanted to pick. I want to pick the Texans.
I'm not picking them. Next. Bo next. All right.
Cowboys.
Nope.
Jaguars.
Are the Jaguars good?
They should have beat the Dolphins last week.
But are the Dolphins good?
Kinda. They're probably the same Dolphins team they've been for the past few years. You're running out of time. I've given you 9 suggestions.
All right. You pick from Jags, Patriots, Ravens.
Well, Ravens is the easy one, but I picked Jags.
All right. We're going to go with the Jags. Wow. Bold pick early. I bet we'd be the only person that picks them in the whole thing.
I really want to pick the Texans. I feel like that's the best pick.
Okay.
I've given all my advice for the week. I'm going bye-bye now.
And we say bye-bye. It's either going to be Jags, Texans, or Ravens.
And we'll tell you that we won no matter what happens.
No. If we lose, we will disclose that because then we'll stop making our picks every week. All right. Never Been's out.
Bye-bye.
See you next week.
Yep.
We say bye-bye.
Maybe.
Baby.